Hey there, in this video we're going to try to do some rusty texture on the drawing that I did before of these pliers. So you can see I have everything all drawn out. Now I'm going to start working on the texture. So I'm going to start with my 2H pencil. I have everything all sharp and ready to go. And I have it right next to me so that I can look at it to try to make the textures as close as possible. So what I'm going to be doing is starting with a scumble technique. Let's see, is my head in the way? No, it's okay. All right, so I'm going to go in here with a scumble technique, adding light pressure with the 2H pencil. And the idea here with your rusty value is that you will make it not look too smooth, and it's going to be kind of bumpy. And so the scumble is a good option for that because she's not as smooth as the modeled value. Right, so I'm just getting in here and I'm going to do an even tone of this light 2H, and I have my pencil at an angle, but it's not on the side, although on the side might not be bad. That's just not what I decided to do. So I'm going to circle, circle, circle like this. Okay, going around, going around. And little circles just like that. Oh yeah, that's working out nice. Okay, so now I'm going to come up here and I notice that it has more like a line texture in there. And in here, if I go straight up and down like this, it will help it to look flatter. That won't be the only thing that I do in there, but that's the start of the value in there, and the same thing here to add the value in here. Next, I'm going to go in this section and do alright, so I'm just going to continue with this scumble technique through here. And it takes a little while, and it's looking kind of rough, which is good because that's what I want with my rough texture. Okay, and then I'm going to go around here because I want it to be rounder, like that.
Walberto Sandoval, if you're on campus, please come to the front office. Walberto Sandoval, please come to the front office.
Okay, so I have this kind of even tone that has been put on with the 2H pencil using the scumble technique. And that's where I'm at right now. Now I would do kind of the same thing over here, but I'm not going to continue with that with the video. I'm just going to focus on this side. And the next thing that I would do is to take my eraser and bring out some highlights where I can see that it's reflective. So on that little knobby, and then along the side, I'm going to erase out a highlight. And I'm also going to use it to lighten up that really dark line that I made because I needed to draw a little darker so you could see it on the camera. There's my drawing brush. I feel like I had it. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Let me get the crummies off. Okay, so I moved the crummies. So now you can see how it's kind of, it looks like it has a little bit of a highlight on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take this, and you can see that this is a lighter kind of modeling throughout here, and there's a variety of different tones. And I'm not going to aim for photorealism because really that's not my bag. And I just want it to look kind of different, so I'm just using the same circular motion with my eraser to kind of alter and adjust and blend out some of the texture so that it becomes, in general, just a little more mottled and a little bit spottier. All right, and so now it's time for me to start with my 2B pencil, and I'm going to go in where I notice that the tool is darker in this area, and I'm just going to be creating it with kind of just a general shading technique. I'm just making lines in here, and then I'm going to do the same thing through here. I want it to go all the way up to that line that I initially made. Make sure that it extends all the way from the top to the bottom so that it creates that sort of textured look. And then I'm going to go into here and do the same sort of thing. And then I'm going to do the same thing in this one. And then in here. Right in there. And then I'm going to get a little bit of it in here. Okay, so it's starting to look three-dimensional, right, because I have that value going in there. Now I'm going to come in here and get some value going right underneath this. Just like that. And then now I'm going to use that same kind of scumble technique, but with the 2B pencil to start to create the tones. With a rusty look, you're going to be letting it, like, I want little bunches of these. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see a little bit better. I don't know if that helps. Let's refocus. Okay, maybe one out. But they're kind of separated. So I have the 2H value, and then I've got the 2B, and they're tight little circles that are going right up close to each other, but in kind of irregular, patchy little spots, so that it doesn't look clean and neat, but in general it's everywhere I'm trying to put it, so the drawing itself is clean and neat. Now here I'm making it a little bit darker underneath because that part of the tool casts a shadow on the bottom part of it, and it's not a big shadow, it's just a little guy. Okay, and then here I'm going to add in some of that texture coming out, and so yeah, no, that just, I don't like that. I think it focuses in on it better when it's not quite so close. Okay, so it's, again, it's the scumblies kind of coming around the outside. Not even. Oh no, I rolled over on my cord. So this next part I'm just gonna be working on it for a while. I don't want that heavy outline, but I do see a dark kind of shadow on the outside of this tool. So I'm trying to make a thicker kind of scumble line to, maybe I could do one more, kind of blend out that heavy outline that I really, really don't want. I'm going to use the 2H. I want a lighter tone in between. And I want it blended, but not like smoothly blended because this is rough. Okay. Now I do need to maintain that highlight. So I'm gonna just make some kind of open scumbles through here, and I'm not gonna get all the way up to my darker shape because that will make my highlight disappear. I don't want it to disappear, so I'm just gonna focus on it real close. Okay, I think I'm going to do some patches of hatch throughout here to try to get a different kind of look with the rusties. Okay, so you see what I'm trying to do is to get it to look uneven and still have it follow the basic rules of value where things are darker on the side when they're further away from the light source, and they have highlights on the top when they're closer to the light source. And you know, they look rounded and dimensional. Alright, so it gets closer, and then I need a little highlight through here, so I'm just gonna kind of erase him on in there. And just keep kind of working it. I'm just making some hatches. Okay, and there's this little like spot that looks like paint. So I'm going to draw that in. It doesn't have to be the exact same shape as the paint spot that's on there. You know, that'll help it to just give it kind of a little rusty look. I like that pretty well. And then I'm going to do a little bit of that same kind of thing over here where I'm pushing harder. And it's just like a little scribble, right, to go in. And then I'm going to go up here. Now I'm switched to my 2H. I want to go over that highlight a little bit. Oh, I lied. That was my 2H. Oh my gosh, Miss Dorsey, what did you do? Because when I'm looking at this edge, unlike when you're doing a real shiny texture and it really looks striped, this edge is a little irregular because it's not smooth. So I'm just making a little line and having it go. to the little line. Right, that's looking pretty rusty to me. And honestly, I could continue this for probably the rest of my life. Just sit here drawing the freaking tool, making it look extra shiny and adding in your different roughness and making sure that the values match up and just fussing with it forever. But I'm not going to, and nobody wants to watch a video that long. But this is basically how it goes. As far as like this part, I know this is giving some of you trouble. I would do the value so that it goes up and down like that to start with, and that will help. Okay, thanks for watching.